Cool. Do. Sukov, you little thing. You poor little thing. You absurd little shrimp pop. Alright, time to go and load the bowls. Time to load up all the bowls. Day and night, left and right. Alright. Here we go. Boop. Get some background tunage going here. Bop. Hey, I'm all hyped up. I'm out and do energy drinks. Oh, sweet baby, your fucking race. Oh my goodness. My oh my. My oh my. Everything is just very my oh my. Oh my. I don't know why I'm in that mindset right now. I'm in Georgia K mood, I suppose. But today at work has just been kind of one that slowly drives you mad. Mainly because of not how busy or shit like that is, but because how fucking slow it is. Oh my god, I just remembered, so I actually turned a corner into our like little office space in the back, and fucking one of our closest was literally just like gunk, 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 gunk on the fucking desk, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here, bro? And he was just like, oh, that fucking faggot fuck. Like, he was just getting all mad and shit, and I was like, oh, what the fuck, oh shit, what happened? He got heated. The spice has been unleashed. And he's like, I was trying to help this customer find a fucking IPA, and I asked Justin where it was. He's like, yeah, I know where it is. It's obvious. And it's just like, and he just stares at me and just like doesn't help at all because it's on his fucking break. Does fuck all blah blah blah. Just like the fat fuck motherfucker. It's like, oh my god, damn, the spice is unleashed. And he's just like, today was pain. I wish to die. I've been trying to finish Coda 2 on Massive Difficulty. Holy shit, Sonic hits like a fucking train. And to think, still have to fight Treya. And yeah, and also with Treya, she has like the fucking flying lightsabers. And you have to deal with that shit, so yeah, have fun with that. Oh, actually, the other night I was doing some editing on, oh, sweet. Oh, I can't fucking, oh, because it only will do it like this. What the fuck? Okay, well. Is there really not a way to, yeah, I guess not. Well, here, hold on. I'll just do this. So, I actually, whoops, been editing up my video that I'm gonna be uploading here for that shooting vlog and shit that I did up. And for some reason I can't do double screen, and this is probably why, because it won't go horizontal for whatever fucking reason, which honestly, thinking about it, for an app like this, that would be so much better. But I'm gonna put some music on this. It's all muted, so, but I was kind of thinking about putting some sort of like folk music or some shit, kind of make it all folksy, especially considering it all looks kind of folksy. Can't really see it too much, but there's like, you know, the gorge of the Columbia River out there. I'm actually, you know, hold on. I'm actually gonna cut this probably right here. I'm gonna do this because this goes on for way too long. Yeah, I'll just delete that chunk. There we go. Cool. Okay, that still is way too long. We'll do it actually right there. Let's see. Does that work? Yeah, that will. Yeah, actually, right where I splat it, right there was actually nice. Yeah. Let's check it again. Oh, yeah, that's better. Dope. Sweet. Cool. Few shit, few other little things. Oh, now? Oh, no. I just realized now that I did that, I have to fucking change all this shit. God fucking damn it. Ah! Okay, this is what happens when you start editing when you don't realize what the fuck you're doing. So I'm just gonna stop fucking with that for right now. But, oh, god damn it. Fuck, I'm gonna have to, like... Oh, man, I just realized I'm gonna have to, like, strategically... like, place all sorts of different fucking text and shit. I should have actually shown more before I did that. Oh, god damn it. Fuck. Because now all these different little things I did for edits that were perfectly timed and, like, ah, god, that, I didn't even think of that. Oh. Well, that's gonna be, like, another hour of work. Son of a bitch. Oh, well, wow. I was wondering when that, when my SAOA popped up right there, why the text didn't show up. It's like, there's actually text for this, and I went further, and it's like, it didn't move. It's like, shit. Fun fact, the floating landscapes are actually invisible Civ floors, which is why Force Choke and Plague work on them. I guess that makes sense. Like, they're ethereal force ghosts, and, like, force beings, basically. What the fuck, Zukov?
Are you fucking kidding me? You're a fucking goober.
He is a goober.
Fucking barks at the person who's been here all fucking almost all day.
For real. Oh, Venom, did you fucking, did you catch the part of my stream earlier this afternoon when I was talking about Zukov's unfortunate mishaps this morning? With his constipation.
Go!
Zukov, sit. Hey, sit, boy. Sit, buddy. There you go. Good boy. Because this little poor boy... No, I didn't. Oh, here, I'm going to have to retell it a little bit. Because this poor boy basically had, like, some hardcore constipation. And, he almost... Like, I'll have to start, you know, like, you know, just in, you know, some deets. So... You know, he kind of waltzes into my room while I'm kind of, you know, starting to get dressed a little bit, and he just kind of starts looking like he's about to sit down. And I'm just like, what? And I'm just kind of, and I notice he's not exactly like, you know, 100%. So I'm like, what's up, boy? You know, what's going on? And then I just heard like this dry ass, like, and then it was like a droplet of like this dry as fuck, like dusty turd shit or something. I mean, initially it wasn't, but it was just like...
If you did that in the living room next to my bed, I would literally kick your ass outside and leave you out there.
Well, luckily, I mean, when that happened and I noticed that, I went, no! I went like that, you know, like, started to panic really quick.
Dude, if you fucking dropped the whole thing in there, oh my god. I would have heard you scream.
Like the first time it happened, when he had a liquid one, where he was diuretic. So bad bleeding, I finally had shit. Dude, so here, let me get to it. Let me get to the highlight of it. So, I kind of went, no, hold on. I was like, wait, no. Like, I yelled that at him, and he immediately runs into my bathtub and, like, curls up in a little ball hiding there.
Give me a couple pieces of that.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Bitch. But anyway, so...
Why are you being such a bitch?
Goddamn bitch.
Motherfucker.
But, so, he just for some reason curls in a little ball in my bathtub, just all like, you know, like, because they think he was, like, scared I was gonna, like, you know, be angry at him or some shit, but I wasn't. I was trying to, like, come on, let me go outside, come on, bro. And he was just like, no. And it's like, he actually started kicking his feet a little bit.
Fuck.
Where he was just like, no, no, no. And I'm just like, bro. And I just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to run over to the door and open it really quick. And when I did that, he just bolted as quick as he could outside. Found this bush and immediately, squatted. And it was a few more, like, of those weird little turd things I was talking about. And out of fucking nowhere, this projectile of just, like, it was like a... Like, it forced its way out, whatever the fuck it was, and I was just like...
I've had those before. Oh, God, those fucking suck.
Yeah, and basically, from my understanding, dogs, if they have trouble, you know, with that situation, like, some of their intestinal mucus line will, like, you know, kind of shed to help force it out, and that's what happened with him, so I was, because at least I didn't have my other boot on, I only had one on, and I was just like... And when I saw it, I went, oh, God, damn. So, like, even I saw that, and I was like, oh, man, he did not feel... he literally kind of, like, bounced almost. It was, like, literally recoil. Like, it recoiled him, like, a couple inches, you know, forward. It was like, rrr!
Unlike us, we hold the fucking toilet. Ah, fucking come on!
Yeah, I mean, it's like, man... It didn't literally, like, not even a couple minutes later, he goes, well, I started doing that outside, at least, yeah, at this point, as I got my other boot on and came back out, and I check on him, you know, and I just look at him, I was like, you okay, buddy? And he's like, and I'm like, oh, God, oh, no. I mean, actually, I think that was the point where I, just started the stream, too, where it's like, you okay, buddy, you poor thing, you know, just right after it, you know, he had a rough day. Yeah, this is all in the morning. I mean...
Tell him about my cat.
Oh, somehow his cat, like, all night last night... Or was it all day today?
Last night.
Last night. Yeah, so somehow last night he had this, like, little harness on, right? And he, like, overnight got his, like, paw, like, somehow lodged in it.
Oh, he fucking terrorized my mom's house.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I'll show you the picture of his fucking food dish.
Oh my God, there's pictures?
My mom took a picture of it. She's like, you need to see what your cat did. I'm like, what?
Yeah, but he found, like, this weird bone cartilage thing that was, like, from, like, a cow or some shit. That I'm assuming I assumed he probably jacked from, like, one of the neighbor's dogs. And he ate all of it. So I'm thinking that's really what it was. His gut lining was not exactly feeling a bunch of cartilage and shit. This cat terrorized his mom. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh,
There's his food dish.
Fucking Christ. Look at this. Oh. It's just everywhere. Oh my Lord.
Oh, okay, that's just the table. It was on the floor too.
Is there more, or is that just it?
That's just the one she sent.
Damn.
But she called me at 7 o'clock. Okay, I was late to work today. So she called me at like 6 something.
It's funny though, it's actually exactly on the dot. That's one evil cat, Lamau. Yeah.
Oh, he's not evil. He's just... My mom, like, she told me that he's been sleeping all day.
I was probably all tuckered out trying to get the fuck out of his little harness.
Oh no, he was probably terrified as fuck, dude. He's a good little monster.
Just like Zukov can be. Hey, do you mind? He does, yeah.
You know how he does that paw thing with you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what Loki does to me?
What?
Same thing.
Well, yeah, of course.
He does it, but he does it with both paws.
Because he wants to jump on your lap and shit.
If you're going to the bathroom, paw right here. You have to hold his paw while you're going potty.
Wow. Zukov won't do that, at least. He'll
just follow you in into the bathroom.
Yeah, he'll follow you in there, then he'll just, like, sit there with you. But, you know, he won't go be all that weird about it. When he was initially a puppy doing it, like, he will literally try to, like, sniff all up in there and be like, I smell stuff that I, as a little dog, you know, am curious about, because my biological brain says so. And it's just like, no, dog, stop it, get out of here. What's going on here? Look in the background.
No, we'll get... The guy falls on his face, but the girl who's fucking doing the splits, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, because the dude basically looks and gets distracted.
Tries to backflip.
Yeah. My cat Biggie is huge, thinks he's a kitten, likes to go outside and eat field mice. Bandit will do the same thing.
Bandit's just a big fucking cat anyway.
Yeah. Because the other night, Bandit got a real nice fat rat in. The only reason why I knew about it is because I saw a lot of fucking, like, this weird white ball in a lawn that had a lot of flies around it. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. What's this?
Candy.
Candies. The dad's a lot faster.
We've been doing it longer than the kid.
Well, actually, she almost, like, finished it up. Pretty quick there, though, but... Oh, here. Totally forgot to put some background things on here. Whoa. Don't eat loud. The thing that pisses me off is when he eats mice, then he throws them up inside. Ew! Luckily, Bandit don't do that. If he eats it, he keeps it in.
You do voiceover work? I'd like to.
What?
Put your hands together for Steve.
Are you having to clean up that half digested? Yeah.
Wait! Not gonna spell them. But what do you want to see? What? Judge. Why? Wait! I'm not gonna spell them. But what do you want to see?
Booby.
I mean, honestly, for me, at this point, like, nothing really beats having to clean up after some dog mess of some sort or another. That's biological. For instance, something from the Telegram that literally just not making sense. That is a complete FS show. What? At work? That's a complete FS show at work, huh? Oh. Okay, here's what he actually is saying. Work is a complete shit show tonight, motherfucker and coworker. That only person that's here with me is fucking wasted, so I'm basically running this place by myself. Well, that's fucked. I'm honestly wondering how the fuck is that shit even allowed? Like, honestly, the things he tells me about this gas station works at, which is extra mile, by the way, is just, like, honestly kind of fucking shocking, and frankly, I'm honestly wondering how the goddamn place isn't really frankly shut down. There's, like, such improper regulations and safety measures and like workers that are just straight up, if anything, putting other people kind of in harm's way potentially by being drunk or smoking cigarettes too close to gasoline and shit. It's just like, well, I'm honestly just like, it makes our gas station look actually kind of like pristine as fuck at that rate, because I mean, none of that type of shit, you know, is like really around. While responding to my friend's shit here, just give me a second. Okay, there we go. The little gas station here, if you light up sewer near the pump, the gas station attendant will come up to you with a wet mop. With a wet mop! Nice. Just like coming up is like, you better put that out. Smack the cigarette out of your hands. Yeah. So basically he's saying because upper management is a bunch of fucking idiots, I have so many fucking people yelling at me, it's not even funny. I basically just said, tell any customer to complain to your main manager and give him their number, or district head, someone up top. They're idiots because likely it's all a profit game, so as long as that rakes in, they don't care. A bunch of pissed off customers, though, that impacts that bottom line. And then suddenly they will start caring and giving a fuck a little bit. And actually probably won't be as much of a bunch of idiots, you know, considering, you know, that their bottom line is starting to get impacted because one of their coworkers is too drunk to even fucking serve people and piss them off. And if anything, throwing your other coworkers on their bus at that rate, because then they have to basically get the blame pinned on them because they're the only other fucking, like, competent motherfucker that, oh shit, ooh. Bring this forth, bring it closer. You need, like, one more, like, right here. It's like, oh. Oh shit. Here it comes. Whoa.
Yeah, my charger that was on for my AT&T phone, when I got my iPhone, it takes 2 hours to charge my phone.
Damn.
So I got a new one today for $20. Yeah, it was kind of funny because when we went to Best Buy to get it, the guy that is a Samsung dealer basically told me he used to work at AT&T and the one they gave me are shit.
Damn.
It's kind of funny when I opened my bacon. He was still in the kitchen. He's like, I know you
yeah, because I guarantee he immediately smelt it.
Yep. So now I have 2.5 packets of bratwurst, 3 things of chili, 2 soup. I got some more tea.
The step that is normally pro law enforcement is extremely pissed out the lace master happened. Why spend all that money on good gear when you need it and not going to use it? I'm noticing a lot of people have kind of starting to have a pretty strong, similar sentiment with this.
What?
I'm just like, he is so close to understanding Lamau. See, dude, for real, isn't it? Like, when it comes to just literally the, just the lack of not giving a fuck and not actually protecting, people when it comes to, like, what these, especially in Uvalde, what these, cops have been doing. I mean, there's even been a 2005 Supreme Court ruling where legally they don't even necessarily have to protect you unless you're in their custody, basically. So it's when it comes to the Supreme Court back in 2005, it's there was a legal precedent with Earlwood versus something because it was a lady's last name. I think Gonzalez versus Earlwood or something like that, the town that she was in. And basically the case was that somebody, that her husband was estranged and had a restraining order and she had a restraining order on him. And he abducted her 2 kids, violated restraining order, went to an amusement park. And after that, somewhere between him going to a police station and starting shooting up, and from that amusement park, he killed the kids. Because of violating a restraining order and being obviously estranged and kind of probably being a psycho for good reason and all that shit. And the Supreme Court, at least in 2005, ruled, pretty much like the police don't necessarily have to like protect you in those instances and stuff.
Pretty gross looking. You guys home yet? Huh? Yeah, I was born today. I said I was born today. Oh yeah, you're in your birthday.
I'm looking up some information about a union that could be affiliated with my friend's job for working at a gas station, honestly.
Usually happens.
It's like the gun and shooting system. It's not the guns but caliber of people who pick them up. The caliber of people, like just meaning like who they like are basically, like in a sense of just their mental fortitude and that type of shit. Trying to. Exactly. Well, yeah. And honestly, frankly, I really do think it is like that. I mean, I suppose if there is one thing that, like service, are kind of right about, even though they literally, generally mostly don't actually address it, is mental health. It's like they'll say all about it when these things come up, but when it comes to actually addressing it, they're not exactly, they're not exactly found when it comes to them. It's like you hear a lot of media dorks and fucking, a lot of other, like politicians and shit that'll crow about it all day and night, but when it comes down to actually trying to pass legislation that could help alleviate a lot of problems when it comes to mental health in the country, if anything, they're not even supporting it, but if anything, they're against it. Honestly, I think we could do sensible gun reform and address mental health. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Exactly. And honestly, I think, a legit good balance of, putting some sensible, rigid gun reform legislations and a strong mental health programs federally and statewide, state by state, will go a long fucking way.
Somewhat.
I mean, somewhat, yeah. I mean, it's not going to solve all the fucking problems, obviously, but, I think especially those two things will help heavily mitigate that type of shit. And honestly, I think at this point, when it comes to firearms across the board, I think it should be 21 and up, just period, flat. Like, I mean, regardless of, firearm type.
There's nothing under there.
Like, I can see, hey, it's like you have a kid that's going hunting with you and shit. It's like, alright, well, they get a specialized, license where they can't own it, but, it will be under the supervision of somebody else, but during those very specific times of the year and shit, they can have access to it, for those purposes of, like, hunting or some shit. But beyond that, no. Like, at this rate, if you're a fucking teenager, 18 or 19, it's like, nah, you get to wait a little bit. If you want to, like, if you want to, like, partake in, like, fire ranges or go to places like, marksman clubs and shit, and kind of get an early start before actually getting your own firearm, that's fine, but being able to just willy-nilly go in anywhere and get it, like, fuck that. Like, especially if you're fucking, like, 18 or some shit. I wouldn't even necessarily make exception to the rules outside of, the parental or, like, some other supervised or supervision or some shit. Where it's like, in the meantime, it's like, it'll be under this person's name, but as soon as the birth date of this other person, it'll pretty much automatically be transferred under their name. Like, have some sort of, like, system in place, when it comes to, those type of instances. Like, I'll be okay with shit like that, because I know there's plenty of families and people out there that want to take their kids hunting and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, alright, so let's at least have something in place, but it has to be fucking strict, though. And if they step outside of that boundary, then at that point, it's like, well, your privileges are getting revoked. And you have to work your way back up again. But it's going to be harder this time. I don't see why that's a big fucking deal. And I definitely don't mind having gun buyback programs, because it doesn't necessarily mean it just gets automatically destroyed once it gets, bought back. That essentially just means that the state owns it, and, whatever they necessarily want to do with it, frankly, is their goddamn choosing. If they want to, like, have it go back into the market or something like that and sell it to another certified FFL licensed dealer or some shit, then they can do that. I mean, if they want to repurpose the raw materials of the firearm into other things, that's okay. In fact, there's a lot of mom and pop shops that actually openly be like, hey, we'll pay you some money if you have, like, a broken gun or some gun parts you don't need anymore, or a gun overall that you don't want anymore, and we'll break it down and make, like, guarding tools, or just, like, different, outdoorsman tools and shit like that. I mean, so it's just like, that type of shit's dope. I mean, I'm definitely very well okay with things like that. Like, I mean, we should have, like, all of the above when it comes to, like, repurposing, firearms and shit. Because, sure, we don't need so fucking many of them, but, let's help kind of, standardize, the circulation of this shit. Like, if there's such a regulated standardization on other industries, or at least that's the idea, then why the fuck isn't it for this? Gotta shoot an M16 too, that was really fun with a 3-round burst. Oh, you lucky bastard. But honestly, the other point, about these type of things, especially with these fucking cops, because, especially if there are some conservatives that are like, hey, if, like, 40% of Uvalde's budget, which I guarantee you that's going to drop very fucking quickly, the next time the fucking city's budget comes up, that police funding is getting cut the fuck up. Like, I guarantee you the local police there are going to fight hard about it, but I don't think the community is going to give a shit. Like, frankly, honestly, like, I saw the Rational and National video of the cops in their, like, little press conference with, like, one of their colonels or some shit, all looking like a fucking bunch of goddamn Gestapo agents or some shit, with their fucking fancy little hats. And basically, they're like, yeah, we just didn't do anything. And it pretty much, like, not just in this crew, but you can hear in the background, like, just people of the community just, like, fucking yelling at them and berating them. And it's just like, yeah, honestly, their fucking nice little comfy ass little bourgeois 40% budget is gonna be cut the fuck down. I wouldn't be shocked if they doubled down and put more of the budget towards policing. I mean, I guess I could see that, but honestly, considering how much has been put into their fucking policing, and they did fuck all and had, you know, kids die and shit because of them and their negligence, and the parents there know that, and the community fucking knows that, then I don't know. I wouldn't, at least for Uvalde specifically, I wouldn't be too sure. Like, I can see Buffalo doing it, but Uvalde, not so much. I mean, at worst, it might stay the same relatively. It's like, they don't really change it, they just reallocate to what the funds are doing, you know, when it comes to it. So, I mean, but I don't know. I imagine at worst, it just stayed the same, and at best, it just, frankly, I think would actually just get gutted. It'd be the first, honestly. Like, I mean, this whole weird hoopla about, like, oh, all these fucking police departments defunded and shit. It's like, no. There hasn't been any that have been defunded. If anything, there's been increased funding for fucking police. Biden's even given, like, some federal money to police departments and shit. It's like, what do we mean, like, defunding? Like, there has been quite the opposite, you know? Like, what the fuck? To get pissed over children die for once. I think, honestly, despite the politicians and media, at least when it comes to the right wing, being essentially a death cult when it comes to abortion and shit like that, I do believe, and I know for sure, that, you know, there are people who are conservative that are genuinely like, I do value human life type of shit. Where it's like, because I do have, you know, like my family from Texas on my mom's side, like a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are conservative of various colors and stripes, but none of them, outside of one aunt and her husband, like outside of those two, there's no real like QAnon-y MAGA shit. But beyond, yeah. I'm not trying to shit on her. She's great, but I mean, it's actually a fun person to hang out with, but God, politics is the last thing you want to fucking get into with. Anyway, but I digress. Like, I mean, even her, they actually are like, yeah, like I want to, you know, make sure like kids actually have like kind of a legit, you know, upbringing and stuff like that. Especially because one of my aunts is a psychologist, not the QAnon one, but one of my more moderate ones. And, you know, and they're willing to actually be open to, you know, wanting, you know, child programs, child tax credits, stuff like that. Like, they actually legit want these things. And I do know, at least, when I was there last time, they were actually very disappointed that the child tax credits, you know, weren't permanent. Or at least, you know, extended for quite some time instead of for a short period of time. Like, if anything, they were actually kind of hoping Biden would, you know, was gonna, you know, do some shit too. Because also, at least my more moderate conservative aunt, she actually is not really against Bill Clinton. So there's actually a few instances where she's actually okay with Democrats to an extent. Though it's kind of curious how they tend to be dino Dems or centrist Democrats. But nonetheless, it's like conservatives, you know, not all of them are just diehard Republicans. There's a few of them that, you know, will branch out a little or legitimately be principled, even if you disagree with at least, you know, some, if not all, of their principle on an issue. And I certainly don't, you know, when it comes to a lot of my family in Texas, but I mean, when it comes to certain elements, like, yeah, like, you know, having strong, you know, safety nets, you know, for families and single parents, you know, to help, you know, raise their kids and shit. I mean, I do agree with that. I don't agree with the whole, like, you know, pregnant aspect of all that shit when it comes to abortion rights and all that. But, I mean, on everything else, though, there's at least a legit agreement there. So, I mean, it's like, it's interesting, at least. I mean, to know that it's not all just hyper-tribal bullshit, but, I mean, it never really was. I mean, the media and a lot of politicians legitimately try to galvanize it that way because that's how they make fucking money. And it keeps people distracted. Because hell, like I remember talking to some of my family members just about my work and about some of the union efforts and stuff, and if anything, they've actually been pretty encouraged, you know, hearing a lot of that type of stuff. So, you know, despite, you know, again, their views, you know, being more conservative and, like, kind of Christo-Republican leaning and shit like that, I mean, you know, it's safe to say, at least, you know, especially them, they're not, like, the far-right fasci types. They're legit kind of, like, the more, I guess, like, Reagan-esque style, like, you know, like 90s Republican, like early 2000s Republican shit. Like, I mean, without all the hardcore heavy fucking racist evil shitbag baggage that came with all that. You know, because, well, I mean, that part I really don't know 100%. Like, I know at least to a degree they kind of are, because they definitely are pretty anti-immigrant. To a degree. Like, even that, it varies, you know, depending on who I'm really going to specifically talk about, I guess. Some of them are a little bit more like, well, you know, I'm okay as long as they go for the proper steps. And some are just like, I'm not exactly comfortable, you know, with just, you know, having, you know, something like that unless it's, like, very strict as fuck. And blah, 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 blah. So it's like, oh, okay, I see where you're getting there. You know, some of, you know, again, it just kind of depends. And I also, at least on my mom's side, have some who are actually legit more centrist or liberal leaning, so... You know, for them, they're actually legit a little bit more pro-immigrant. So, it really just, like, I mean, and they're all from Texas, by the way. So, honestly, this is, like, you know, a lot of it's actually, like, kind of similar to Texan politics. And frankly, especially considering you know, my family's mindset on a lot of different issues. And from different ages and, you know, from different eras in American history, at least growing up and shit like that, or at least relatively the same, you know, time frame, you know, to an extent, but different experiences fundamentally. I mean, it's like, it all kind of comes from that more kind of conservative-leaning Texas lifestyle and shit, but even then, they all flourish to be totally fucking different. And only really, like, one of them, at least, you know, one small little group of the family has really kind of turned a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The rest of them are just legit pretty moderate, or if anything, like I said, you know, can be kind of liberal in ways. I wouldn't necessarily say full-on leftist, though, or progressive, but at least, you know, somewhat liberal. My mother is an ex-lawyer, and my stepdad is an ex-cop. That is a weird couple considering both sides seem to love each other. In my experience, nothing drives away a cop like a lawyer. That does seem like such an interesting combo. I mean, especially if your stepdad is like an ex-cop and he kind of sees, like, if we're giving, you know, our, you know, my boys in blue all this shit and they're not doing anything with it, then why are we fucking doing that? Maybe they ought to, you know, pull themselves by their bootstraps and learn how to fucking, you know, be a little bit more proper about their job, I tell you what. Like, you know, honestly, in a way, maybe, you know, I'm always totally fine with, you know, like, with just straight up, you know, taking a lot of the same rhetoric that conservatives use and just flipping it against their head. So the whole point about these bootstraps, like, yeah, let's make some cops pull themselves by the bootstraps a little bit and actually do their fucking job. Especially when they're supposed to. Maybe we'll also start to kind of see, like, do you see why people maybe criticize police departments when, you know, why people want to, like, you know, like, look at a lot of different police departments and critique them and, you know, get pissed off when they, you know, kind of go against their bounds or don't do, you know, the proper thing. So close, yes, so far away still. I mean, hey, I mean, knowing that he is close means that, you know, the discussion can be taken closer, you know, to that understanding and realization. So it's just like, you just kind of have to, you know, pitch it in a way where he kind of figures it out. Even though, you know, like, you have to basically, like, spoon feed it to him, but make it look like he is the one who knew what he was, you know, it's like, oh, okay. But it's a hard battle. Long river to hoe. Took off. What are you doing? Goof. My dude. My guy. My homo sapien. My hominids. My dude. My bro. Gun control, question mark. Is it the answer? Say, God damn it. God damn it. Why, I need Dorn to go get me some mac and cheese, god damn it. What the fuck? Let's see, chili no cheese? Of course. Don't make me have to beat my fucking wife. Here, I was looking for a thing. Where'd it fucking go? Oh, yeah, here it was. Here we go. Oh, wait, hold on. Got another fucking thing. Let's see. Oh, my friend's like, what the fuck? Power tripping, competent managers at it again. Damn. Rip. That is some rip right there. Ripperonis. I just love competent managers. I don't know, I was a bit cringe, but I've been listening to him debate right-wingers and all balls. Some of them are insane. I've seen a lot of his videos recommended to me, but I haven't watched really any of them. Because honestly, it's just like, I know what they already are about, and frankly, especially when it comes to a lot of these people, there ain't no fucking, you know, convincing them. At least the ones he's talking to. Like, I've listened to a few of them, not all of them, but there has been a few, and like, there's one that was uploaded that I saw. America's for Whites debating a white nationalist. Yeah, no, you're talking about the same one, aren't you? 10 hours ago? Most recent upload? Because, yeah, and frankly, it's just like, honestly, I don't debate those people. I make sure they're, you know, put to submission and are basically, you know, forced into obedience, you know, to condone and, you know, like, ingrain themselves into a way of thinking that's outside their fucking format. If they're gonna be an NPC for those fucking ideas, they could be reprogrammed. Just forcibly, instead of, you know, we gotta be soft about it and have debates with them. And it's like, no. White nationalists? Like, really? Yeah, good luck with that. Like, yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of people that are impressioned and can be convinced, but it's worth it to shine light on their horrible ideas. Yeah. I mean, I don't besmirch it. Because obviously you have to do it, especially if you want to convince people that do have these ideas. But it's just like, in a lot of ways, you know, especially when it comes to like a lot of these fascists or Nazis or white nationalists and shit, at this point, I really have no patience to debate them. I'm not exactly patient about that anymore. Nor do I really frankly give a fuck. There's someone I'd punch first and fucking talk to at this rate, so. And honestly, that'd be the least of their concerns. What's up, Radical? It's kind of disgusting about Hunter Avalon. It's kind of a lib, but I mean, Venom's saying he's kind of cringe, but it's like, I don't even think that about Hunter Avalon. Like, you know, I don't think he's cringe. I think he's cool, dude. Like, I actually like him. Like, you know, but I mean, just his constant videos about debating people that are essentially like fucking psycho TFGs. It's like, nah, fam. It's like, I mean, don't waste your time, bro. I'm literally having an issue of boyfriend shit, but oh no. I had some issues of dog earlier. I kind of talked about it earlier on my afternoon stream and a little bit earlier on this one. Just to save the TMI details, I'm not gonna go for too much again. Rundown was he was constipated because he had this big beef cartilage bone thing, and he ate all of it, and basically like had the most weirdest fucking horrible shit that I've seen in frankly in a long time, and I don't want to see it again. We'll just leave it at that. And then he puked like 10 minutes after that, and it's like, oh, you poor fucking dog, man. Would you stop licking there? It's like, what? Fucking little weirdo. Man. Your face is not getting cuddles tonight. I know where your face has been pretty much all day today, and I'm not about that. Man, poor little pup. But here, well, I actually want to pop this up. I actually kind of saw a little bit about this already, about like how I think 61% of the GOP basically believes in the Great Replacement theory. This is also part of the reason why I'm just like, okay, this isn't necessarily something that you just have fun conversation with anymore. This is like an actual fucking growing fundamental problem that actually needs to basically be like combated against, more so than just like debated in the fucking intellectual debate spheres of the internet and the academia space and in our house of government, yes. I mean, honestly, my main reason for it, frankly, is that, like, especially for loyalists and diehard, like, TFGs when it comes to this type of issue, do you really honestly think they give a fuck about the same type of ideas when it comes to, like, having a back and forth, or whether they're in the sunlight or not and shit? They really don't. They just want power and control. Like, and even if they are in the sunlight about it, they don't give a shit. That's why things like the Buffalo shooting and that terrorist attack will fucking happen, because, yeah, it brings it up in the limelight, but did that guy give a fuck? He wanted that. He wanted it to be in the limelight. So, it's like, honestly, at this rate, it's not like I, would not rather, actually, have a back and forth, but, like, for a lot of the people who are THGs and loyalists when it comes to a lot of this fucking neo-Naziistic fucking idea and shit, and are loyal to the core about it, and believe it, and are manipulated by it, it's like, I mean, at that point, you're dealing with a legit threat. Like, it's one thing falling down the rabbit hole, but once you've, like, become a part of the rabbit, become one with it, then, it's like, alright, that's a little bit of a different story. And, like, set up camp in a little bit of, in that little rabbit hole. It's like, yeah, not exactly, not fun. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, like, I'm literally trying to get unification with him. He's amazing everything I want to be on. I mean, I don't know all the details or anything, obviously, so I can't really, say much about it, but, I mean, if he's not, like, being more open with you or some shit, then, I don't know, I mean, I need more details before I can, have a commentary about it. Oh, sweet baby. Look at you. Here. I saw this just before I finished my afternoon stream earlier today, but I actually want to check this out.
So a couple of years ago, a bunch of children decided to sue the United States government in order to establish a constitutional right to a livable planet.
And also, I found a article that was notified to me by the AP that was basically like Germany and the United States, are working, to achieve their climate goals and blah 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 blah, and yet this title is a thing. Like basically in the exact same time frame as we're apparently doing climate action, but we're also fighting against it literally at the same time. Not want to go on to details. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, obviously, it's private biz, so it's pretty sad they won't set a right to a livable world. I mean, no shit. I mean, it's not even necessarily just that, but just basically the right to like of a basic environment and a basic habitability. Because frankly, I mean, it's not necessarily just the world, but it's just also, I mean, because the world itself, I mean, fundamentally, I mean, it'll be alright. Like, it's really the habitability and livability for us and shit, and having an environment that is sustainable, that isn't just for us either, because the only reason why we're around is because literally everything fucking else exists when it comes to flora and fauna. So, like, we have, like, it's just necessary to like prioritize that and try to preserve that, or at least maintain it. Hey, Sukov, hey, Nate, no, get over here, get over here, no. Boofkoff speaks. Yeah, right when I'm fucking talking. I care less about, but we aren't at the stage yet. We could just run right to a new world. Even then, I'd fucking still care about it. Because, like, if we're interstellar and shit, then, we have a higher chance of, potentially having other interstellar issues and shit. So, let's say, we lose contact with one of our other planets, and, for whatever reason, or, they rise up because, they have a fundamentally different culture and society. Like, frankly, there's just a lot, like, I mean, futurism, utopian, Star Trekian, my ideas aside, I mean, if we're, like, multi-planet, like, I mean, there's definitely going to be an element of, like, Dune and shit, where it's, like, we'll eventually kind of fracture into different little planetary states, if anything. So it's like, I mean, even then, if you happen to be on one planet and then there's like a massive revolution against the intergalactic gov of humanity or some shit, and you're on that planet, then at that point it is your only planet. So it's like, I don't know, I mean, it's like, I would still, just because, I mean, there would still be variables, at play to where you might still want to preserve it just in case. Because it still could be your only shot, if, something fails, or if all else fails when it comes to it. That's not happening. Yeah.
Guess who was the president? Nope, not Donald Trump. It was actually Barack Obama. And can you guess what Obama decided to do? Well, he decided to fight these children in the courts. His administration fought to dismiss this lawsuit, and then when he got out of office, Trump came to power, and then obviously
Space fascism is still bad, boo.
Did the same thing. And in a couple of days, we're going to learn whether or not this lawsuit can move forward. And we
This is a joke. Yeah, I assumed it was.
New administration. So the Biden administration is going to have to ask itself, are we going to fight this in court, or are we going to allow these children to move forward and establish the right to a livable planet so they may one day be able to be as old as I am? Well, look, we all know that Biden talked a really tough game when it comes to climate change. He said that he would treat this as the emergency that it is and promised to take it seriously.
Let's attach itself to a nation. I mean, it would just be intergalactic.
Well, Right now, his administration is gearing up to fight these children in court just as his predecessors did. So as Julia Rock of The Lever explains, any day now a federal circuit court is expected to deliver a ruling that would allow a historic climate change lawsuit to proceed to trial. If and when the case moves forward, however, it faces a major obstacle: President Joe Biden's Justice Department. The lawsuit, Juliana v. United States, was brought by 21 young plaintiffs in 2015 and seeks to establish a federal constitutional right to a livable planet. If the case is successful, any federal policies that enable more fossil fuel development could be challenged as unconstitutional. But the Obama and Trump administrations both vehemently fought the lawsuit, and now those close to the case say that Biden's Department of Justice has indicated it will also use every procedural tool at its disposal to prevent the lawsuit from ever getting a trial. I have asked them very directly if we win this motion, and we
So y'all want to live on a planet? Well, fuck you. We're going to make sure that isn't on trial, because, profits over, over just, like, pretty much literally everything. Because even though, even though there's, like, you kind of need that, and, like a livable planet, stuff like that, in order to kind of have, a type of system in place where you can maximize profit and all that stuff, I don't really give a fuck, because, hey, I'll be dead by the time that happens. And all my children would live in space yachts.
To go to trial, Julia Olson, the lead plaintiff's lawyer, told The Lever. Their response has always been something along the lines of, "It is our position that the court doesn't have the jurisdiction and that this case should never go to trial." That's the Biden administration. That's who young voters elected to defend them from climate catastrophe. Now understand that he is making a legal case. His administration, to be clear, his Department of Justice is making a legal case. They're saying, look, we're not saying that these kids shouldn't have a habitable planet. We're just saying that the court doesn't have jurisdiction. We're making a legal argument. You don't have to do that, though. You don't have to do this. You can choose to back down and not fight them. But they're choosing to fight them. Now, there's going to be conservatives who argue that, it's preposterous to think that there is a constitutional right to a livable planet, because if that was supposed to be in the Constitution, then the founders would have written it in the Constitution. Now, there are going to be other individuals, more progressive-minded people, who will argue that this is a right in the Constitution, it's just not explicitly enumerated. Now, my position is, I don't care. Don't care at all if it's there, if it's not there.
Frankly, yeah. And honestly, while we're at it, I couldn't even really give a fuck about the Constitution at this point either. So, as far as I'm concerned, throw it in the trash and, have a new one. Like, have, like, a totally new and revised Constitution actually is worth a fuck. Because, frankly, it's just, like, the current one, kind of sucks. Needs to be revised, like, extensively and very heavily.
Have this right. I don't give a flying fuck about what the founding fathers intended or didn't intend as they wrote this Constitution using quills while shitting in a hole in the ground. I don't care. What I care about is that this Constitution protects its people, because if it doesn't do that, then it is useless. In fact, I shouldn't say that it's useless, because assuming there is no right to a livable planet in our Constitution, then there are still some uses for the Constitution. Perhaps you can lay it on the ground to protect your carpet from paint splatter if you decide to paint. Perhaps you can use it as toilet paper, wipe your ass with it, and then flush it. That's as far as the usefulness goes of this Constitution. I have no
pretty much
respect for the founders or the Constitution if there are not these safeguards in place to protect people from a habitable planet. Because
even then, why should we honestly have like some weird glorified respect over the Constitution or the founding fathers? Like, a good chunk of the founding fathers are a bunch of like racist, slave-owning rapists anyway. So like, I'm supposed to like have some revered respect for them? Fuck that. Like, they're a bunch of tyrannical pieces of fucking garbage shit too. So fuck them, as far as I'm concerned. And fuck the horse they rode on, too.
Else matters than having a habitable planet. The Constitution cannot exist without people being able to breathe and write it. So if that's not in the Constitution is fucking worthless. So I don't care about the Biden administration's excuse. I don't care about legal procedure. I don't give a flying fuck. If a government is not going to protect its people, that government is useless. That government is voiding the social contract.
I mean, that's kind of the whole idea of a government in the first place, is to at least bare minimum, like, protect the constituents that is, supposedly, supposed to represent. Because, I mean, if that's the idea, then if they're not doing their job, then what the fuck? That's kind of why, there's also usually, tends to be, but not always, kind of a caveat about basically being like, hey, let's, if the government's not doing its job, we have, like, a right to basically kind of usurp you and say, fuck you. And just, like, actually make it so you can do your fucking job. And put people in place, very quickly and rapidly, and, to do so. Things like revolutions and shit like that. But, it's not, like, something the government actually is very fond of, because it tends to go against their interests, because, well, obviously they want to stay in power. So... I mean, it's kind of interesting that, like, a lot of, things in, in history overall, where it shows, with these governments happen to have a lot of revolutions when they tend to not do things that their people want. At least, especially after a certain amount of time, to the point where they, just decide to say, nah, fuck it, we're done taking it.
About this story is that these kids have been relatively successful. For example, Oregon District Court Judge Ann Aiken wrote in a procedural ruling...
Huh? Oregon? What?
On the case in 2016, I have no doubt that the right to a climate system capable of sustaining human life is fundamental to a free and ordered society. That was the first time a federal U.S. judge declared that such a constitutional right existed. The case has widespread support from public officials. Last year, 6 state attorneys general filed an amicus brief in support of the case, and 48 congresspeople wrote to the Biden Justice Department in support of the plaintiffs. The matter is also beginning to capture public attention. The lawsuit is the subject of a newly released Netflix documentary, Youth v. Gov, after the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals dismissed the case in 2020 because it concluded that plaintiffs lacked standing. The Juliana plaintiffs revised their complaint. Now parties are waiting on a ruling from Aiken about whether the revised complaint addresses the Ninth Circuit Court's concerns, a ruling that the plaintiffs' lawyers expect will be favorable, allowing the case to again proceed. So in the event this case does go forward and the Biden administration decides to fight them, every single reporter should be pressing him on this.
I mean, considering that most news media, especially mainstream news media, tends to be bought and owned by the fossil fuel companies or natural gas industries and shit, yeah, good luck with that. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of that.
Network should be juxtaposing news that he's fighting this with sound bites of him saying, I'm going to defend your future. I'm going to defend your right to live on a habitable planet. Because this is a broken campaign promise if he does this. But he's broken many campaign promises already. So
his existence is a broken campaign promise.
I don't expect him to bend to public pressure. Biden is just basically asleep in the Oval Office. So this doesn't really surprise me. And I already knew that going into office, he wasn't going to do jack fucking shit about the planet. But what's really important is that we do anything we can to support these kids. So I want to play a clip from a 2016 Vice documentary with one of the leaders of this lawsuit. And, this really shows you how powerful and inspiring these kids are. Take a look.
My name is Yuteska Tonati. I'm a 15-year-old climate warrior.
Oh, wait, hold up. I want to hear that again.
These kids are. Take a look.
My name is Yuteska Tonati. I'm a 15-year-old climate warrior, spokesperson for...
Isakato Tsunaki? I'm actually wanting to try to hear it and get it down a little bit.
Yuteska Tonati. I'm 15.
Hisato Konati. Dude, his name's badass. Especially if how it's spelled, dude. It sounds metal as fuck.
Spokesperson for my generation, and I'm suing the United States government for violating my...
I found on behalf, like, they are not adults. They have to grow up quick. Yeah. I mean, they have, like, things called childhoods to live. Like, shouldn't the adults be, doing things that, I don't know, like a lot of these kids are doing?
The atmosphere. When you see a headline of a newspaper that says, youth suing Obama, or kids suing Obama, or teenagers rallying to sue the president for climate change, like, that'll get a lot of attention. I'm the youth director of Earth Guardians. I decided to kind of keep the momentum going as just one small local crew of 15 kids that met, got pesticides out of our parks, all in Boulder, Colorado. Got fracking banned for the last 6 years here in Boulder County. We are working to empower young people to give them the voice, being excited and inspired and doing what we're passionate about, whether that's film, whether that's hip-hop, whether that's sport or art, using those things to change the world around us. The thing that sucks is that the United States, we have contributed to climate change. We're one of the biggest polluting countries in the world, and we are suffering the least.
Adults are so mature, like, this is why we have these fucking dating apps and shit like that. Like, we don't even know how to have relationships. Dude, so much of our fucking, like, conversation at work earlier today between the guys, honestly, was so much about that shit. Not even gonna lie. Actually, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but, like, one of them's gonna be an assistant manager and shit, and he's, talking about how he's not gonna exactly, try to keep this whole, like, friend group type of thing going on. I mean, not, like, change that, but also, be like, hey, I'm actually gonna try to be a manager here and shit like that, and, because he doesn't necessarily think, at least when it comes to people, our current one is, really great, because she literally will talk about her entire fucking, like, social life. It's ridiculous. And our one of our coworkers, who's also gay, literally is always, like, sitting up front while everyone's in the back when she's there talking about this shit. And he's literally like, kill me, please, end my life, I want to die. Like, he's just sitting there like, I literally don't want to hear any of this right now. Like, no, and every time I walk by him and I see him, he's like, please kill me. Is that how all girls looking are? No, honestly, not exactly. But, I mean, because she, it's, like, she just recently, like, got a divorce and stuff, and now she's basically, like, I can't, like, frankly, in the past, like, month alone, she's, like, probably been with, like 3 or 4 dudes or some shit. Or do I do an accident sexism now? Yeah, I think you did. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I mean, it doesn't really take the cake to some, of the sexism that kind of throws around in our workplace a little bit. It's just like, oh my god. I mean, it's not like bad, but I mean, it's not like, like, oh damn, look at that girl. It's not really like that shit, but it's more like, just their, a lot of the opinions that, they have when it comes to their own past experiences and shit, really. Which doesn't justify it, but it's still just like, oh my god. I was brought in Canada as under 1 years old. Scott tweet. That's cool. Pretty dope.
Power, and there's so much profit to be made out of digging dead, decomposed plant and animal matter out of the ground. Look around in my backyard. We are at the front of a war zone for fossil fuel extraction.
Jesus Christ! Look at all that. Gross.
What happens is when they frack, they shoot millions of gallons of water, toxic chemicals, and sand mixed together to fraction the shale beneath the ground. And then when it comes all back up, they gotta separate it. They take the oil and the gas and they take it off the ship and turn it into energy. But the contaminated water that comes back up is considered dead water. There's a well pad right there, off to the left. That tan cylinder that's in the ground that's holding toxic wastewater. It's not like huge. It's not like the tar sands. It's not like a huge oil refinery. It's very hidden. They're really good at hiding it. A lot of it is underground. Everything that happens with fracking happens underground.
If there was a fracking
well, it should be illegal. Yeah, because also it creates a lot of fucking earthquakes and shit that normally, rarely, if ever at all, fucking hit these regions. And now they're starting to get more frequent earthquakes, like, that are very abnormal now. Because of shit like this.
Surely be contaminated by all different types of benzene, ethyl benzenes, toluenes, xylenes. What we need to do is love water, not oil. That's the motto. Love water, not oil. Because water is life, right?
This is a public hearing where we will consider the length of the current temporary moratorium on Boulder County's processing of oil and gas.
We did a direct action against the county courthouse, and we held.
I mean, I kind of liked, honestly, like that weird dead water fucking pond. Basically, all the grass around it was just dead. It's like, oh yeah, this is a natural environment area. It's like, oh yeah, with all the chemicals in it, yeah, everything's looking very nice and flourishing when it all looks like it's just brown, dead grass. Yo, yeah, I'm sure it's very thriving over there in that little pond. thriving.
All the kids, so the Earth Guardian.
Yeah, I mean, look at this shit. I mean, I know it's like, you know, kind of a plains area and shit, but like there's, I don't know, you kind of see foliage, you see bushes and trees and shit. This is all just like just dead.
Mike chant, and everybody in the audience was chanting messages about renewable energy and about banning fracking.
That guy did not look happy to be hearing that. He's like, oh my god, these fucking little kids, they ought to be fucking there, you be put in juvenile detention, put back school and be disciplined, and all this stuff. Like, I guarantee that old fart was thinking that.
The county commissioners that were all in their seats talking about fracking, they actually left. They were escorted out by the police, and then the youth, the Earth Guardian crew, we went up on there, actually took all of their seats.
Damn.
Which was a really
Damn, they basically just usurped the fucking, like, seats and shit. They're like, nah, these are ours now.
demonstration, and we were up there until the police kicked us off.
Oh, well, the police, I guess, did kick him off eventually. You think the police would remove you? Well, I guess they eventually did. They let them have their little fun, but then they kicked them off. It's like, alright, kids, you had your fun. You gotta get off now.
We have 5 communities all along this side of the...
Honestly, I mean, that's all, like, you know, it takes, really. I mean, even if the cops do, like, you know, remove, you know, like, it's like, alright, look, you can have your little protest stuff, but you kind of need to leave now. You know, it's like, I mean, I can at least be like, alright, that's a compromise I'm willing to take, you know, with shit. It's like, alright, the kids did their little thing, they took their seats, and then the cops like, alright, you did your thing, you all done? It's like, yeah, I think we said our shit, alright, bye. You know, hey. But, of course, you know, cops never act like that. I think that was, the fact that there were children is the reason why that cop acted like that.
We banned fracking.
Nowadays, they won't even do that shit, they just let them get shot.
More to come.
If that's not inspiring, then what is? These kids took over a city council and they did not leave until they were kicked out, and they got fracking banned in their area. It makes me feel as if maybe we do have a little bit more power as citizens. And these kids are the ones leading the way, not the adults. Isn't it amazing? Now, some of these kids are...
At least around here, I mean, it's not just, you know, kids, but also adults that are doing it too. I mean, it's just that, at least when it comes to natural gas, that tends to be the big player here. I'm not fracking, so it's still fucking disgusting, but, I mean, it's just like, at least, I guess it ain't fracking at least, but still. I mean, there's actually a line that cuts through the Lamb River and shit, so actually there's like a line that, you know, kind of cuts through our town too a little bit, you know, and it goes up to into Portland, so it's like there's one around here, you know, so it's just like, it's a little fucking disconcerting, especially considering, you know, when it comes to pipelines, it's only a matter of time and of when they fucking leak and shit, not if they do. And I'd like to not exactly have to deal with issues like that, thank you.
They were old enough to vote in 2020, and I'm assuming they voted for Joe Biden. So Joe Biden...
Or either the Green Party or not at all.
Told...
Capitalism was Jumanji. Smoke CRT every day. Like a capitalist and smart when I want to continue playing this game with everyone living on... Like these CEOs are dumb as shit. Yeah, they really are. And yet they want to lecture fucking kids and the younger people, especially environmentalists and the hippies and the communists and all that shit, how they're fucking dumb and wrong and need to God to be properly educated and blah, 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 and all this stupid shit. But that's just a way to downplay your awareness to the whole fucking, you know, system that is and the powers that be. It's just a whole way to downplay it. And a lot of people on the like on the underclass also kind of, you know, fall for it too. I mean, that's why you got a lot of, you know, hyper-conservative types and a lot of these, you know, Nazis and shit, because they think, oh, everyone else is not properly educated on the real things that are, and they ought to, you know, if not, then we exterminate, you know, shit like that. And even then, depending on who you are, they won't even give a fuck if you're educated or not on the whole thing. They just like, oh, if you're enlightened on our issues, then speed up the process for us. Like, for example, me, like, I fit it enough to where they'd rather just me be re-educated. Or you're queer, okay, conversion therapy for you, even though it literally would never work, and it's just torture. So, I mean, basically, in their minds, like, oh, you're fit for re-education. But, you know, either way, that wouldn't actually really be doing shit, because frankly, they would have to basically, you know, do the other option. It's like, oh, you refuse? You refuse to, you know, be, you know, like, re-educated on this? Well, extermination with you. Time to die. That's pretty much just what they will think. So Coffee even boofed in his sleep. Yeah, he just did a little bit earlier. He went... He was doing that type of shit. So yeah, he will. He's actually kind of... Oh, he was knocked out of sleep. He kind of woke up now. Hey, baby. Hey, little sweet boy. Sweet little thing. Ugh, he just looks so tired. You poor little boy. So tired and sleepy. Aww. Does he allow stinky dog farts? Yeah, today he has. Not always, but he will. Especially if he's, like, today, you know, got some gut issues. But, oh, he's just being a sweet little sleepy boy. Look at this little boy. Look at this little sweet baby thing. Aw. He's just so sweet. Just a cute little boy you is. Yeah, you is, you sweet baby. Zukov. Oh yeah, he's just knocked out. He's knocked out again. Aww. Little bye-bye. That sweet little bye-bye. I see the border collie in him. Yeah, it's mostly in his legs. And his floppy ears. Oh, we're getting a stretch. We got a stretch. Oh, fuck. Damn. Couldn't flip it enough. Couldn't flip quick. He was doing a cute little stretch. Hey, stretchy boy. Zukov. Zukov. You sweet baby. Zukov. Hi, bye-bye.
Can't forget my smoke.
Aww.
Get the kids.
Oh, not little baby. Oh, well, he's slowly going right back out. He's dead asleep. Well, he's kind of peeping his eyes up a little bit. He's awake. Zuka. Hey, bye-bye. Hey, little boy. Yeah, he's at it. He is tuckered the fuck out right now. You're just tuckered out, aren't you, baby? Especially after his poor little gut issues today. Yeah, I imagine he's all kind of tuckered out from that. Oh my goodness, that little baby.
Tuckered out.
Oh. Yeah, bye-bye. Hey, you sweet thing. Hey, Sukov. You baby. You sweet thing. Well, you're just like looking down like that. You look sad.
He looks tired.
Just a little bye-bye.
He has a nice comfy chair and he's all tuckered out.
Oh. This make me want to be all tuckered out. What the fuck?
Oh, hello. Okay, I'll get you guys your food.
No, the kitty. Multiple kitties from I'm hearing. Zukav don't even give a fuck about that. He's just like, man, I'm too tired to give a shit. Bye. Baby.
If you would.
Wait, what the fuck? Ah, shut up. What was that? I clicked the random thing. Burr. And he's just like, yeah, he's out. Oh, just so cute. Just too sweet. We'll give him like a little treat, but he's all knocked out. Wait, what's this? I see a little muslet dugout. What in the fuck is going on here? What the fuck? They're all going nuts. What the hell's what?
One lead here 2-0.
What the fuck is going on here?
State starting to look and feel like a team that is on the verge of punching their ticket up 2-0 here.
What the fuck is even going on?
Going to the bottom of the 5th inning here.
What the fuck?
Last night 3-1. Lead here 2-0. Oregon's
What the fuck? I like how this is the first thing I'm seeing. So goes the front bad though. I need rats. What the fuck? Man, these comics seem to have a big issue with women playing sports and having fun while doing it. I mean, there's one right here. Oh, they just want to... Oh, to be on the lane at school, no judgment. What the fuck? Huh? No way they're dancing to Yo Voy. What? Hey, enjoy the vibes. Yeah. Nice beavers. Wow. You clearly need a party. If you go to Oregon State, you clearly need a party with the softball team. What's when the mayonnaise and unseasoned food? If I don't have teammates like this, I don't want them. Still saying goals, easy to be. As the old saying goes, easy to be lit when you're never one shit. Damn. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm saying some of the tweets that person was talking about. It's like, oh boy. If I can't dance well as a person, Jesus Christ, wow, they're getting cringier. I'm noticing that a lot of incels came out of the woodwork on that one. It's like, don't ever post this again. Softball's usually nice, but that's just cringe and annoying. Also, it's like, oh my fucking god. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. He's been in here the last couple times. Honestly, the one person I haven't seen in a minute is Little Husky. I wonder where he went. And so they're like roaches, kill 1, 2 more appear. Oof. Here, Nick Fuentes caught in 4K watching fanboy trans porn. What the Wow. Of course, a fucking very insecure little gay boy Nazi fucking degenerate would actually literally fucking, be caught doing that. Oh my lord. You know what? I'm biting it. I'm biting the bait. I want to see, I'm delving in.
It's happened, everybody. Nick Fuentes has been caught white-handed, I guess you could say. That's really the only... Slightly translucently, pearlescently white-handed is what we'll say. Cum-handed. Yeah, cum-handed is a good way to say it. Watching... or having just watched some interesting online content. For those of you guys who don't know who Nick Fuentes is, you probably don't know why I'm talking about this, and you probably don't even know the lore behind it. Nick Fuentes is without a doubt probably...
Literally just an incel Nazi fucking sad boy that that pretty much the only purpose he has in his existence is basically his weird little, like, cult personality that he has.
Known
if it wasn't
Nazi
for that, straight up, like, he would just kind of go off in that quiet good night.
Figure on the internet. He's very much got a pull among Zoomers. That's the audience that he aims for. And he's radicalized.
You watch a fanboy get sucked by a trans girl? Hot.
A future...
See, I don't give a fuck. That just sounds kinky and dope. Like, I kind of want... it's like, I kind of want to find it just for research purposes. But, for people like Nick Fuentes, apparently that's just all degenerate garbage, grossness, and ew. But he's willing to watch and jerk it every fucking, day and night and shit whenever he's not live. Because he's just a very hyper insecure, chauvinistic incel, Nazi, sad shag bag of degeneracy.
Into becoming a groiper, which is what he calls his fans. However, the funny thing is, all of his fans, including...
Which sounds very close to groper. So it's just like, I mean, yeah, what a nice little fitting title for yourselves.
On this very bizarre way of presenting themselves that comes off as kind of the opposite of what they seem to want people to think they are. They want people to think they're these extremely traditional, clean-cut, well-put-together, traditional conservative men, right? But at the same time, they're extremely...
Those have sex if it was offered to them. Of course they would. I mean, like, the whole reason why they act the way they do, because it's basically a cry for help, while a very pathetic, sad one at it, of basically, please fuck me. Like, that's basically what it is.
They're constantly, like,
of course they would.
And coming up with the most disgusting and horrible insults to call each other and other people. Not really behaving in the types of ways you'd expect, like, a well-ordered gentleman of the 1950s to behave. And then on top of that, they'll express these very contradictory ideas, right? So, for example, they're very, very against being gay, trans, any type of LGBT, but at the same time, they're also very, 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 very opposed to women being part of their movement. They really don't like women. They've been very open about how much they hate women, which is, normal for conservatives. But then when you also throw on there, like, the way that they talk about women doesn't denote, at least to me, this is...
Yeah, I mean, incels come in all walks of life. I mean, it's like, they're not necessarily just fucking weird white toy Nazi, degenerate, sad... I mean, like, incel is just one of the many things that, these type of people are. It's just like, incel is, I mean, not necessarily inherently a political, like, idea. I mean, it's not in the first place. It's just how you get a lot of people, politically that just tie it into their fucking ideas. Which is just fucking beyond stupid. Like, honestly, I mean, just because, like... I mean, I know there's at least a lot of people that, kind of have these weird views and shit that are either virgins and not. And it's like, and I'm not a virgin and shit, but it's just like, why does it fucking matter so goddamn much? Like, when it comes to, like, fucking and shit, it's like, yeah, I fucked, but okay, yeah, so what? Like, it's big whoop, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's just, I don't see that big of a fucking deal over it. But it's pretty much, I mean, I know, honestly, I kind of get, at least in some parts, why, but it's just like, it's just so ingrained that it has to be like this big thing where it's like, hey, you have to like meet somebody and fuck them and have a relationship, blah, 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 and all this other shit. And it's just like, why, it's like, what, since when is this like, you know, some major hyper massive priority, you know, that has to basically just be on like the forefront of every fucking thing? It's like, because it really shouldn't have to. It's like, you know, if you're interested in that type of shit, then there you go. You know, it's like, you know, go for it. But, I mean, if you're not, then you're not. You know, it's like, whatever. That's my finances. Well, that's not really being an incel. You just got, like, other shit going on in your life, and it's just not a major priority. Like, I mean, I'm not necessarily, like, active or looking, so to speak, just because I just got other shit going on in my life. It's just not, you know, major priority. You know, and that's why, at least for me, it's never been a big whoop, you know, because, like, especially, you know, because I'm young, you know, I got plenty of life to live, so it's like, you know, just because right now I might feel this way currently, I mean, in a couple years I might feel a little different, but right now it's like, whatever. I mean, especially if, you know, someone's really young, it shouldn't be a major fucking concern at all. Like, if, you know, like, if you're in your, like, mid-20s like I am and shit, who cares? Like, just live the life, you know? It's like, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. I mean, hell, even if you're in, like, your late 20s or early 30s and shit. Something came along when you wouldn't turn it down, would you? Yeah. Exactly. And I'm also, yeah, at least for me, you know, I'm not voluntarily celibate. Yeah, like, yeah, I wouldn't turn, you know, like, I got, you know, a friend with, you know, benefits that, you know, every now and then, you know, whenever he's, you know, feeling or whatever the fuck and shit, it's just like, you know, hey, you know, we'll get funky sometimes. But, you know, it's just like, obviously I won't turn down. Like, if I happen to be at a bar and someone's, like, kind of vibing me up and I'm kind of vibing them up, yeah, you know. It's just like, even at least for me, even though it's not like a major priority or a major, you know, concern or like a major forefront of my, like, you know, thoughts and, you know, life moving forward and shit. I mean, it's not like I won't pursue it if it happens to come along. I mean, but that should be like the mentality about it, honestly. I mean, it's like, hey, if it comes along, then it comes along. But hey, if not, then don't worry about it. Whether you're virgin or otherwise, really. I'm in a relationship and I want be with my boyfriend. Well, yeah, and there you go, exactly. I mean, and that's what you want, wish to kind of pursue and shit, and there you go. I mean, it shouldn't have to be a major, you know, concern, like I'm saying, but there's like a major element of our culture, at least in America especially, where it's like you have to, like, you know, get a relationship and, you know, fucking, you know, be in, like, this type of, you know, partnership and try to get, you know, like a long-term thing going and blah, 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 and all this other shit. Like, where it's heavily ingrained in society, basically, like, you know, get a relationship and try to have kids, and if, you know, not, then at least have a very happy, fruitful type of relationship thing, and stay committed and all this other shit. And it's not necessarily like those are bad ideas, but it's just basically like the main thing that's pushed, like, fucking endlessly and shit. Then there's, like, you know, a lot of massive, beauty industries and shit that, you know, exploits a lot of people's interests when it comes to, like, you know, body types or sexual interests and shit like that. So people, you know, have this expectation of, you know, what to look for, or have this expectation of what they want or some shit, even though realistically it's not even actually that achievable unless you do, like, a lot of, you know, different things like plastic surgery or a fuckload of makeup or some shit. Which, you know, if people wish to do that, who gives a fuck? Like, I don't care. At least for me, I'm all about choice about it. Like, if people wish to, like, achieve, like, these crazy, you know, like, marketed, you know, beauty standards and some shit, go, yeah, fine, go do it. And, but if not, then whatever. It's based on, yeah, at least for me, you know, what people's interests are and shit. But at least, especially when it comes to our capitalistic system, it doesn't necessarily suit it that way. Well, it does, but it makes sure that it's very marketable. I don't think it could be probably get attached and clingy once the relationship is in a comfortable place. Yeah. I could kind of At least I have in the past, you know, been kind of like that before. But at least at this point, not really. The whole Sternism, yeah. Let's get back to this.
Like, it perfectly phrases what I was thinking. When Nick Fuentes says something misogynistic or rude about women, it doesn't feel like it's because he's like sexually frustrated and he can't get pussy and that's why he hates women. It sounds like he's saying it because he's disgusted by women. And, you know, he said stuff like having sex with women is gay, and he'll be like, yeah, that's just a joke, am I right, guys? And nudge, nudge. You know, meanwhile, obviously, just railing against the LGBT community with the most nasty and horrible rhetoric you can possibly imagine. I mean, he's a Nazi. What do you expect? It's nothing all that surprising, really.
Yeah. Basically.
However, there's also been, you know, little things that have come out, such as him going on dates with gay Nazi cat boys, femboys, and paying for, like, dinner and lunch with them, and you know, just interesting stuff. Oh, the recent thing that happened, this is just a couple weeks ago, Nick Fuentes getting really mad at one of the people in his Groiper gang house, the treasurer of his America First, whatever it is, foundation he has, having sex with a girl, or having a girl over. I don't even think they had sex. And Nick Fuentes came in to scan the room with a black light to check and see if there was any cum residue anywhere in the room that would denote that this guy had had sex with a woman, presumably because Nick Fuentes is sexually attracted to this guy and would not want to have a filthy, disgusting femoid touching his, you know, the cock that belongs to him. The cock...
Oh my god, I did not actually know that little detail about Nick. Holy fuck, he actually went blacklight on a room to be like, he had a girl over, alright, we need to do hardcore federal investigation, blacklight. You know, it's just like we're scanning this room. Top to bottom, we need to sanitize this stat. It's just like, oh my fucking god, dude. Wow, this guy is, like, legit, like, unhinged about it. Like, there's insecurity, and then there's just unhinged, like, psychopathy insecurity. And this guy, I think, on that level, it's like, whoa. Like, that's, like, obsessive, insane, psychopathic, like, insecurity shit right there. Like, whoa. Like, oh, you had a girl over. Well, time to blacklight and scan this room. Detected any fucking bodily fluids and shit. It's like, oh my fucking god, dude. I mean, wow. To be in a weird fucking, like, cult, and also when you're nicknamed a fucking Groiper, dude. A Groiper. Like, especially when it's basically almost identical to Groper. Like, it almost feels like I'm just saying groper, but I'm, like, saying it in some fucking sloshy, drunk way. Like, oh, that groper over there, that fucking weird piece of shit over there, fucking touch, like, I feel like, you know, I'm just some drunk guy just trying to say groper. Like, honestly, I mean, it's like, what the fuck, was that purposeful? Or were they just like, oh, like, goyim, goiper, blah, 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 or some shit, because, oh, we're Nazis, so, fuck, or, you know, so we're gonna connect dots that don't, you know, connect, and thank Jews or some shit. Like, what? I don't know. Like, what the fuck is it? Like, what went through their head, you know, to think, yep, we're gonna call ourselves Groipers. Oh my god. Like, I wouldn't even want to touch them. I just, like, you know, have a hazmat suit if they were, like, 10 feet near me, like, you have these weird Groiper types and shit. I've seen videos in, like, you know, when they're in, like, CPAC and they got kicked out and shit, you know, so I've seen what they look like, and I'm like, oh my fucking god. Like, they look greasier than my fucking, like, fryer grease traps when I have to clean them out at night. They look like, you know, I don't even give a fuck about that grease anymore. I just go with my bare hands and don't give a fuck, you know, and clean that shit at this rate. I just wash my hands, clean them when I'm done, like, you know, whatever. Like, I don't care at this rate. But I would get fucking some, like, hazmat, deep cleaning, like, sanitization gear, you know, before I even get, like, 10 feet vicinity from those fucking people. They're so, like, slimy and greasy looking and, like, legit, like, unkept whatsoever. I mean, there's one thing about maybe, like, you know, skipping, you know, some showers, you know, and shit, and, you know, not going for, like, maximum of a week or something like that, because I've had times like that and shit, but, like, I mean, they look like they like the last shower they had was when their mommy made them when they were like fucking in high school or some shit, when they, you know, when like their parents still had at least had some authority before they started getting a little too strong, you know, when puberty was hitting. You know, it's just like, I mean, that's probably around the last time, like dead ass. Acknowledge her cat, she cooks, cleans, keeps you at home. I mean, I do. I mean, yes, true. But fuck you. Bandit, fuck you too. Is he afraid of getting cooties? Girls are icky. Well, honestly, it's just because he's straight up fucking, like, Nick Fuentes, honestly, is just straight up a very hyper insecure, like, far-right Nazi gay guy. I'm letting Bandit out. Give me 1 second. Oh my god, Bandit, shut up. You fucking meower. Meowing, wowing, fucking little psycho bro.
Oh, he's so cute and soft and sweet. That's the real. Kill mouse for me, bro.
Hey, what's up, Zooks? Hope he kills a mouse for me. Bandit is Lord, he is the king. And we are his mere subjects. I can't remember. I've been to me relationship until I found man. I was literally free, felt burden lifted. Well, yeah, because I mean, that was essentially, at least for you, a realization like, oh shit, you know, I'm actually gay. And honestly, for a lot of, you know, at least, you know, especially back in like, you know, I'm imagining like, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s and shit. That's how a lot of people, you know, who are gay probably realized and shit, because it was just such a hyper suppressed thing that, you know, it's like they kind of knew, but they didn't know what it was. And it was just like, once, you know, they actually do that type of shit, they realize, oh, that's what it was. So it's just like, I mean, it definitely can make sense. It's like, you know, with the idea of having the burden lifted and shit, because it's like, oh, this is what I actually liked. He just stuffed his face as much as possible into himself and just went, oh. Zook off, you goof. Living with a homophobic family can be hell. Yeah, definitely can. The caliber of guys down here sucks. We have good women down south. Well, I mean, well, like, frankly, I mean, really, anyone who's actually spent time down there can't tell you that. I mean, you know, I've been, you know, down south a couple times, at least in Texas, just because I have family down there, and yeah, yes. And frankly, at least for me, I do like the country girl aesthetic a little bit. Not the politics of it, but the aesthetic of it. Like, if there's, like, that rare, like, you know, country girl leftist out there, which there are, they do exist, but, you know, it's like, for the rare ones that do exist, that's like, you know, that'd be like, what? Alright. I mean, honestly, if anything, they don't necessarily look exactly like, you know, the more conservative-looking country girl type of shit, you know, so to speak, but, you know, yeah, but they still got that vibe a little bit. I mean, I'm definitely, you know, like a kind of a country boy leftist, you know, myself in a lot of ways, and, I mean, I definitely got a little bit of the vibe, you know, in a lot of ways. I mean, I got, like, with this hat alone, just do a quick hat exchange right there, boom. Just got really more country pretty quick after that, especially considering I got this trench coat on. Yeah, I mean, I just suddenly became pretty country out of, you know, just with a change of a hat. Like, see? Now all I need is a fucking six shooter. You know, so it's like, got country pretty quick looking. I know a few country girl leftists. My ex is a little anarchist based. See? They do exist. The same thing with, you know, like country. I mean, hell, like fucking, like, I mean, like, I mean, goddamn, like a lot of like union leftists and shit, and like union anarchists from back in like the 1900s and the 1910s and 20s and shit were that. So I mean, it's like what like they might not necessarily look like these Giga Chad looking handsome strut and studs or whatever the fuck, but hey, nonetheless, that's what they were. And frankly, I mean, they don't necessarily have to be like that. I like a little gruff and scruff, on some people. Women too. Kind of shows they actually kind of live a life. At least in my mind. It's like, oh, you got some like gruff and scruff on you? You live life. You do things and participate in a thing called a life. Like, frankly, I just kind of like any person that's got kind of at least a little bit of a gruff scruff to them. Man, woman, NB, trans, if there's like a little bit of like this kind of rough, gruff type of vibe to them, I already kind of have this immediate like, oh, I have this like sense of attraction. Because I mean, not 100%, but I definitely have a lot of that vibe myself too and shit, where I'm a little gruff around the edges and all that shit. And honestly, for me, it's like that's just really just a character point more so, in a person than anything. So, if anything, when I see that around, I'm just like, oh, I have my interest piqued. Fucking moonshiners back in the day, probably still now, and would get into cop chases. Hand me the old reliable Cletus. We need to lose these pigs. Cocks shot off shotgun. Or just, also probably do some mild gun smuggling on the side and start getting some Brownie automatic rifles, Tommy guns, Craig Jorgensen Springfield rifles and shit. Like, I mean, they probably wouldn't just be getting sawed-offs. If they got a real, profitable business, moonshine and shit, they probably were ranking in, some extra guns and shit. Probably knew, like, a few veteran miners that, knew the way, near the armory and stuff. So, like, yeah, we could kind of hook you up. I'm sure they wouldn't notice if a few rifles went missing, type of shit or whatever, especially back in those days, in the moonshine era, like, back in, like, Prohibition. Oh, I mean, if the mafias were fucking doing, you goddamn well moonshiners were too. I mean, a lot of them were distributing to mafias. So, I mean, it's like, that's how some mafias made some of their buck in the speakeasies. No, that's murder. Surely any law-abiding citizen would shoot an officer of the law. Of course not. Of course not. No. But he demonstrated that the wild thing doesn't exist to one who is enticed into it. I mean, assume it's from the previous conversation, but yeah, let's try an infinite model that doesn't exist. Let's dive into it. I also want to be sure. I mean, considering that like beauty's in the eye of the beholder type of thing, I mean, guess you really can't. I mean, if that's what you're legit interested in, then it's what you are, interested in. So it's just like, well, can't change that. Do on serious note, I bet smuggling was way easier before computers existed. Well, yeah. Like doing like smuggling and shit like that, and like pretty much doing really anything back then was probably a lot fucking easier. I mean, that's why there's a whole like getting caught red-handed and shit. I mean, that kind of came more back in medieval days, but it's just like, I mean, that's why sometimes it could be easy to get away with murder shit, because unless you were pretty much caught red-handed or you're just so stupid you left a lot of evidence behind, then you could potentially actually legit get away scot-free. And no one knew he did it. And honestly, there's been, plenty of times where that did fucking happen and shit. Or if anything, a lot of the law was on the side of, certain folks when it came to a certain community and shit. So if it came to some people who were not exactly desired in that community, then they'd, suddenly just kind of disappear or some shit. A country people being seen as dumb, and someone looks stupid but is actually smart, they can get away with more things. Exactly. So I never necessarily want to undermine, a hillbilly or a redneck. Yeah, they might look like a bunch of, beard chucking, chuckle fucks and shit, but, that doesn't mean they're actually, smart on some shit. Like, I definitely, got a, like, for example, I have a cousin who has his own ranch and property and shit, but he's actually a, pretty smart kid, all in all and shit. Oh, he's a kid, like he's younger than me. But when it comes to actual, like, legit education, he doesn't really have a lot. And he's actually not exactly, when it comes to many things, knowledge or very knowledgeable on a lot. But when it comes to just, like, working, the land, like, doing basic, like, landscape and agricultural work, when it comes to metalworking, woodworking, shit like that, like, he knows his fucking shit, like, up and down. Like, I mean, so where it counts, they can be pretty fucking intelligent. It's like they might, be, kind of dull-lighted in many ways, but that, in a way, that kind of highlights a lot of the places where they do actually kind of shine, as well. Especially if moonshiners, no pun intended, with them. At least in that context. Used to play dumb when I was in school. You'd be surprised what people talk about when you think you're... yeah. Oh, I know. There was a lot of shit that I, from middle school especially, kind of playing around with that card. And then a lot of those same people in high school will start, like, actually, like, hear me respond to a lot of stuff in, like, classes and shit like that, and realize, oh, he's actually kind of cool. Took a couple years, but... if anything, sometimes it could be kind of like a shock, to a lot of people. Be like, oh. It's like, why are we bowling this kid again? Because at least, for me, it wasn't really until, like, freshman year is when all the whole problems when it comes to bowling and shit, at least for me, kind of started really wear off. At least for me, it was mostly, like, 6th to 9th grade. So, 6th grade, middle school, then freshman year. But freshman year was mainly just because, like, I was just kind of more seen as the outcast a little bit, and all the friends I did have were basically in totally different classes, totally different parts of the school, so... didn't really have, like, too many people to chat with, at least freshman year. But sophomore year, I switched it up a little bit and went to a lot of classes I knew my friends were taking, and basically, night and day difference after that, so. Holy shit, he talks, yeah, for real. Most of my boys effed off once I made friends with the quarterback. Well, yeah, they would. Actually, funny enough, like, by the time I was, like, a junior or senior, like, I was actually just kind of chill enough where I was just kind of just hanging out, despite me being kind of a metalhead and all that shit, where, like, even some of the jock bros and a few other dudes, because a lot of them would actually have, like, science classes and shit like that, on top of some PE classes that we've taken before, and they would actually be, pretty chill and be like, oh, hey, what's up, dude, that type of stuff, and, sometimes we'll work on projects, like, you have a little, mild chit-chats and stuff about different things. So, honestly, like, it's actually kind of interesting when you have, like, kind of friends in those circles, because, a lot of the jock bros or all that type of shit, they will actually kind of be like, oh, hey, you're kind of that cool kid that I hear about sometimes. Or that interesting weird kid that I hear about every now and then, but it's actually kind of cool. He was kind of damn not good at math, so I made friends with him, helping him do his homework. Yeah, I mean, it's essentially kind of what, I was a little bit. It's like, because, I mean, I remember there was a couple of dudes who were, one of them was a baseball player and the other one was a football player and a basketball player. And it was the astronomy class. It was a geography and astronomy. And we were in the astronomy section, at this point doing the bottle rockets and shit. So... they were needing a little help with, like, some of the basic schematics. I had to at least get the bottle part of it set up and shit. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, here's how you can kind of work that out and shit a little bit. At least here's my method of doing it. And if anything, actually the way they did it was even better than the way I did it. So I was just like, shit, they kind of one-upped me. Like, actually launching them wasn't, like, a part of the grade, but at least, you know, everything else about it, you know, was. And I mean, launching it was, but basically just documenting what happened with it was all I had to do. Like, so if it basically went like that, as long as you document all that shit, you know, it's like, there you go. Hey, it worked. If it goes all the way up and actually launches pretty good, if it, like, halfway and explodes for some reason, like, I mean, whatever happens, you just basically have to document it. That was pretty much it. Side effect, he kicked one guy's ass and they all left me alone afterwards. Well, yeah, because I imagine it's like, hey, he's my buddy that helps me with some homework, fuck off. I mean, yeah, that tends to be a pretty easy, like, oh, okay, we'll fuck off now. At least, like, for my high school, at least, it was more so about, you know, just basically, you know, fucking, like, the amount of, like, different little cliques and, like, different little, like, tribes that essentially were, like, established. That was pretty much, like, how I think a lot of different things, like bullying and harassment and ostracization and shit like that eventually kind of withered away. Outside of maybe, like, the freshman, sophomore elements. But, you know, because at that point, if there was, like, cliques going on, usually whatever drama, whatever bullshit was more enclosed into that. So usually, you know, if there was bullshit, it was more so just, at this point, what adults would consider just daily drama life bullshit, you know, but pretty much devolved into high school fucking petty, like, oh my god, did you hear what that bitch fucking said about you after you fucking slept with Ryan? Oh my god.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly, you know, just like that petty shit. Instead of, you know, being more adult about it, basically, so. Honestly, at that rate, I won't even call it bullying.
Joe says that, you know what I tell him to do?
Huh.
Shut the fuck up.
Honestly, you wonder who kind of started all the whole batch thing? It's like the era of, like, Courtney Love and, like, that aesthetic of fucking, like, Valley Girl, like, oh my god, I'm obnoxious, you know, narcissistic shit.
Fuck up, I don't want to hear your shit.
There's, like, this funny picture of Kurt Cobain with Courtney Love being all like, and Kurt is just like, oh god. It's just like, I regret everything I just did. It's just like, oh man, oof. Thinking about high school is dividing into social groups and seeing how much such shapes and do all do the same thing. Yeah, because we're not really exactly that far away from them. Courtney Love is peak Valley Girl. She's, like, literally the most peakest of, like, not just Valley Girl, but, like, sociopathic Karen Valley Girl. Because there's, like, different levels of, like, Valley Girl. There's some that just want to be, like, a buddy and just, like, want to hang out with everybody and just, like, yeah, I want to party, you know, shit. And, you know, while they're all, like, no matter what, Valley Girls are always going to be pretty obnoxious, like, just straight up. But, I mean, but, you know, some of them are more, like, you know, harmless about it. You know, and then you get the extremes where you're essentially like the embodiment of the extreme of this peak Valley Girl is, you know, Courtney Love, basically. But there's, you know, different levels and tiers, you know, Valley Girl. Some of them, you know, might be a little backstabby, but not all the way. You might have, like, you know, some Amber Heard, you know, level shit going on, but not willing to, you know, full on fucking kill you. And then you got, like, Courtney Love levels of shit way all up in here where, yeah, she will kill you, you know, type of shit. So, you know, it's, yeah, I mean, there's different levels and gradients, I think. But, nonetheless, they're all very obnoxious and very annoying. And tend to be very heavily self-absorbed. And all of them will, no matter what, start some drama one way or form. That being said, I have more experience with crazy country girls. I mean, I haven't really had that much experience with Valley Girls. I mean, I know of them because, I mean, because of California, like, the whole origin of it came from there. But, of course, it's that shit spread like wildfire out of there, no pun intended, again, into Oregon, and pretty much the entire West Coast. So now it's basically just an entire West Coast thing, so, but if anything, I probably have experience, to what you're more akin to. Kind of crazy, country girls, crazy emo, goth chicks, like, there's legit a pretty strong flavor of crazy, around here. I'm just gonna be fucking blunt, at least when it comes to a lot of the youth or my peer group, or a little younger. And I don't necessarily think that's, just accident either. I think there is legit, some factors about a lot of social economic conditions and shit that have led to that, which are only now in the last few years been fucking addressed. And actually, speaking of which, I just found some fucked up shit a little bit, though. Because, there's, like, these, housing units that are being built up behind this little market that, the only thing between this market and this, like, big plot of land is this, like, little, railway and shit. That's, the railroad that's kind of cutting through. But, like, they're building some housing units in there, and from my understanding, that are supposed to be affordable housing units. And I actually fucking found out why. And it's actually fucked. It's because a few years back, there was some industrial waste underneath the fucking soil there. And they didn't know what to really fucking do with the land, so while being for sale still, they essentially, didn't fucking clean it up or anything in the process, and were struggling to figure out how to deal with that. And because of this whole problem with the homeless crisis and all this other shit, they basically like, well, you know what, fuck it, just build something there. So, what the fuck? Yeah, it is a what the fuck. And it's already almost, in a lot of ways, the building is actually, at this rate, fucking, like, I'll have to take some pictures of it next time I'm near it, to kind of get context of what I'm talking about. Because, like, they, like, only started this, like, a couple months back, like, at the very beginning of this year, and that shit's getting done fucking quick. Like, they are, rushing it. Over toxic fucking soul. Yeah, and they're rushing the project. Like, quicker than this fucking, like, road project that's been going on.
Fuck this road project.
I mean, a little bit low-key, but, I always think about the long term and think, yay, it's gonna be better. It's for the greater good.
No, it isn't.
Well, to actually have some improved sidewalks and shit, yeah. I've been wanting sidewalks there since about as long as I've been around here. Finally getting some, it's like, yay. Yeah, right now it sucks, but that's because they're working on the shit. At least that shit is legit good. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it's actually good stuff.
No.
It's good things that, a government actually does. It's like, wow, a good thing. Holy shit. And then there's a fucked up thing, because I was talking about, like, some of the housing sheds being built up behind that marketplace, by, like, the police station and all that. That fucking area? It's literally just, like, down the hill, and alright. I'm not putting the screen up, but I'm putting up a goddamn map for him, at least, just so I can...
Are you talking about where the fucking field's at, down here,
Yeah, that field.
They're building down there now?
Yeah, they're building some affordable housing units there and shit, but honestly, there's a main reason why it is because there's, like, some industrial toxic soil waste underneath it, underneath, like, the topsoil and shit, and also it's not safe. Yeah, it's actually not, like, safe building, conditions and shit. And overall, it's just, like, and the fact that they're also rushing the project, too, is also a major red flag in my mind, because that means that the building's probably not going to be sound or safe.
He was licking his penis and trying to scratch his head at the same time.
Zukov, what are you doing?
It's like I'm trying to get a boner, dude. Come on.
Jeez, dude. Okay, what Gal says again. Wait, what game? If they wanted to build homes on lands that are toxic by their very nature, they could have picked golf courses. I don't care what Cal says. That game fucking sucks. Hey, have you actually played it?
What, golf?
Yeah.
Never.
Never?
I've went and hit balls, but I've never played golf.
I hate golf courses. Why I hit a ball and chase it down and hit it again. Like...
Why throw a football down the field?
Yeah, why throw a football and then just, like, tackle a bunch of men in spandex? I mean, honestly, do we want to play this game?
Oh, no, you really want to play that game?
I played
wrestling. Big sweaty guys.
And also spandex.
Yes.
Yes.
Trying to hump each other.
I also dislike football.
Yeah, football's...
Meh.
Football.
I'm only really into it for the Seahawks, and that's only if I...
Sea chickens?
Yeah, the sea
The
chickens.
sea chickens?
I was only especially into it for the Super Bowl, where it was Colorado and Washington State, Washington. Like the two states that first legalized weed, and they were the only two in the state, or in the country, at least at the time.
Well, Oregon doesn't have a pro football team. Hey!
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I'm actually pretty down with the Timbers, though. Like, when it comes to football.
Hey!
Hey, Opa!
I've been looking for this.
An Opa.
I think this goes to my mom's.
Oh. If anything, I'm a true Southern lad. I like NASCAR. You like a bunch of...
NASCAR!
You like dudes literally just going in circles.
Making another left turn!
Let's all just take a left turn and just like consistently go this way for a consecutive amount of laps for an interim amount of time.
The only time they turn right is when they're getting out of pit lane.
Yeah. You don't even really necessarily have to. Isn't it like the pit line just kind of straight in as it slides in? So it's,
Turns in. And then when you have to pull into your pit area, and then you have to pull out.
I sort of bet like how the wheels are set up. It's like, all right, you're barely turning right, but you can go as left as you want.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we locked this so you basically go, but left is all free as fuck.
This is either for Sarah's or for my mom's. I think this is for my mom's. Because I remember losing one of them. Or I think this is it.
Well, there you go.
I can take that to my mom. Be like, here you go, Mom. Plug it into your computer.
Yeah. I mean, I like playing golf, but I don't like watching it. Like, I don't care about it in that level. And also, yeah, there's, like, ridiculous amount of absurd golf courses. Like, I'm more so about just, like, having more, like, just having a big community, like, type of golf course. And that's it. Yeah, I know.
Called Top Golf.
Yeah. Like, there is one around here, but there's also, like...
Top Golf isn't really a golf course. It's more of just hitting balls and getting drunk.
Well, I mean... I'm talking about, like, an actual, like, golf course area. It's like, alright, you got, like, a town of, like, 15,000 people or some shit, you know, or, like, per square, however many people or some shit. You can have, like, a little... If so choosing to, if it's an actual genuine interest. But it's just, like...
We have one in my hometown.
Yeah, I mean, there's actually one not too far away from here. And it's actually like a kind of a community one. Like, it's one that, you know, average people like me can go to.
People who don't play golf all the time?
I mean, they actually have a place, you know, if they have, like, a whole area where if you really it's literally just want to sit there and just, like, hit balls and see how far you can hit them and shit, you can just do that.
Driving range?
Yeah, the driving range, yeah.
I want to do that.
It's fun, yeah.
I like going in.
Especially if you want to actually kind of practice and legit kind of, you know, get a form going and stuff, which I know how to do a little bit.
I used to have golf clubs.
Oh, but you said never. You never ever do it.
I never went out and played. I used to hit balls.
Oh, well, NASCAR announcers have one of these shops in the world. They're racing! Yep, they're still racing. Yep, one of them made a left turn. Oh, now they're all making a left turn.
Cloud.
High clouds.
High cloud, good lord. Oh, I brought your box. Or Sarah brought your box.
A box?
Your vape box.
Oh.
That your vape came in? Or that her
Box.
vape came in and gave you?
Wow.
Have you ran out of fluid yet?
Not really. I haven't actually used it that much lately.
Oh.
The fuck?
Shut up. I don't care.
Don't growl at him.
He does that when you're gone. And I'll sit there and talk to him. I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit. And, don't talk to me like that.
Your little moans and grunts. They're absurd, bro. Look at you.
Or his little dreams where he's
yeah, doing his little
noises.
those noises.
Look at him, he's like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, he doesn't even know. You look like a dork right now.
He's the only dog who has his own fucking chair.
This is so cute. Hey,
Literally stole his fucking roommate's chair.
Zukov. Baby! Oh, look at that little tail. Oh my
Only
goodness.
dog who has his own fucking chair.
What are you doing? Aw. Voluptuous curly tail.
Go back. Go back and lay down. Go lay down. Get in your chair. Get in your chair. Get in your chair. There you go, fucker.
There you go. Oh, now he plopped. Nah, he's a plopped boy.
You can't get in mine.
The king should have a throne after all. Well, that's for Bandit. He's the king.
Bandit has thrones. They're everywhere.
Yeah, like basically anywhere and everywhere is a throne to him. Zukov, hey, don't be going all up in that grill. Whoa, he's just like whoa.
I like it when you.
Baby!
I like it when you try to bite. That's funny.
Should give him a cloud. Let's watch him just be engulfed into the embrace. Wow. Okay, it wasn't really that. No, yeah. It's like, oh god, no. He's like, whoa. What has happened? He's like, Rrr. He's like, I'm just gonna just lay down with it. What are you doing? Baby, what are you doing? You don't even know what to do with yourself. Hold on. Do you even know what to do with yourself? Look at you. You goofy baby.
And then your roommate's fucking amazing chair.
Oh. Really? Wow. He's like, man, I'm just gonna groom myself. Me. Epidor Zukov. He's not quite ready for that yet.
He needs to get laid. I've been telling you that for a while. And then chop him off.
Ah.
See, this is the thing. You need to get him late and then chop him off. Get rid of him. No, my cup, fucker. No. Get back in your chair.
Bye.
Get back in your chair.
Zukov, look at you. You silly boy.
Get back in your chair.
You silly boy. You silly boy. You silly baby. Man, you itchy little thing. Man, okay, I'm definitely make sure you get flea treatment. You been an itchy boy. You just an itchy boy. Look at you.
Can I help you?
Yeah, do you mind, sir? Yeah, what are we attempting here?
I'm trying to attempt to go that way.
What you doing, boy? Oh, what you doing, boy? What you doing, you goof? What you doing? What are you doing?
Drape the dog out. And you just still stand there and take it.
Yeah. You just accept the cloudy embrace. Wow. Meh. 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 What are you gonna do about it? Yeah. What you gonna do?
Go. Go. You can do it.
You lazy bastard. Oh my god. You lazy bastard. He's gonna literally just attempt to climb over you. Oh, or not. Nah, he gave up. He's like, I'm just gonna give up. Fuck you. Look at his ears are so flipped. He's not even gonna bother changing that. He's just like, alright, I accept that my ears have been flipped. Bro, what are you doing?
Look at the back of his legs.
Bro. Baby.
He's like, what?
What is your ear? What is your ears doing? Oh, it flipped back. Flipped on its own. Man. I can, like, hear that, dude. Stop. What the fuck?
Don't you wish you could lick your own ass?
Not really.
Okay.
That's the one thing that I wouldn't want that many other animals have. The weird evolutionary adaptation to do so.
But I know the one one of the whatever the fuck.
Language?
Yeah, fucking language.
It's, yeah, the adaptation of language.
Yeah. Pretty sure you'd like to be able to suck your own dick.
I mean, depending how athletic you are, you could. I mean, so it's like...
Wouldn't that be like the coolest thing? You wouldn't need a woman after that.
I mean, it's just like...
It's just like the last thing I talked about. If you had tits, you would not need a woman. You would have everything you need.
I mean...
The world would never procreate again!
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, the whole, like, you know, issues, you know, especially, you know, when it comes to, like, it's like, it wouldn't be an issue anymore. It's like, yeah. It's like, this, you know, it's like, humanity does not have the need to procreate no more, as men have developed tits and vaginas.
Or the other ones?
Hmm?
Women that have dicks?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of weird.
I mean, it's basically just, pretty much a reverse vagina. I mean, essentially, it's just like, that's kind of how they do it a little bit. They have, like...
You know how they make a vagina?
They invert the dick. Yeah.
We're meant to be fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, if you actually, like, look into the actual ways they actually do the surgeries, it's a little like, oh, God.
Weird!
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't care, but it's like, oh, God, no,
You know what'd be weird?
It's like, oh,
Okay, check this out. This would be weird. If they invert your dick and put your testicles inside.
I'm sure there's probably going to be eventually a point where they can probably do that, where maybe like via like stem cells or maybe like some sort of like artificial like lab grown ovaries where they could replace them or so. I don't know.
Me and my mom had this conversation. If guys want to be girls, they need to have periods.
I mean, at this point, I don't know how far it's gone when it comes to, like, you know, like, they don't? Okay. No. Yeah, because I wasn't, like, too sure how far at this point so far.
They haven't gotten that far, but they need to make it.
I mean...
Because there used to be a dentist in town who literally became a girl. And he has wife.
Oh.
And kids. And I'm looking at it like, what the fuck are you fucking Gaylord. Fucking Gaylord. What the fuck?
Hey, I mean, it's evident. I mean, hey, if he's still with his, you know, spouse and all that shit, evidently, it all works out at the end. So it's like, all right. I mean, it's whatever. At least to me. I mean, it's just like probably isn't the only person that's, you know, come out and, you know, and all that shit around here. I mean, especially around like Portland, just the West Coast.
Town where we're fucking
and you're
nothing but rednecks.
Oh yeah, I mean,
come on, bro. Hometown.
I mean, if it's in redneck, yeah. I mean, at that point, it's like I'd probably be a little careful. I mean, about just because I mean, there's probably a lot of people that would definitely not take that, you know, very kindly at all.
Probably don't.
Definitely not the same as, like, you know, if some random dentist, like, in Portland or some shit came out and, you know, like
that would be normal.
Yeah, that'd just be like, oh, okay. Cool. I mean, they'd still be referred to as doctor, basically, so...
Or Seattle.
Well, yeah.
Seattle's just...
Seattle.
Fucked up in that way.
I mean, Seattle's just like... Literally. I mean, honestly, Seattle isn't really that much different from Portland, from what I noticed.
First time I went to Seattle... throw it out there, but it's kind of fucking bad for me saying this. But I've met my first fucking gay people walking down the street.
I mean, it's not like bad, but I mean, it's like, I mean, you're not that, you know, your hometown isn't really that far away from Seattle anyway, so I mean, it would 3 hours. I mean, yeah, so it
No,
makes...
I met him when I was in Seattle, when I lived in Everett.
Yeah.
I was like an hour away. I was like an hour away from Seattle.
Yeah, so I mean, especially if you have
went to Pike Place Market. That place is fucking packed every fucking day.
Yeah, I remember when the first time with Seattle, we rented out a little spot that was near that place, and yeah,
that
it
place
was
is
fucking packed. Yep.
What? I know you're just trying to figure out how to get over me and sniff me, fucker. Get away.
I would like force you over there and make you figure it out, bro. It's like, no, I don't.
Jump, pussy. You know you have legs.
What? She's just looking behind me like, what the fuck are you doing?
Go.
You can do it. You can figure it out, bro.
Go.
Oh my god, you lazy
You little...
prude. You little fucking shrimp. So it's like, what the fuck? Man, you absurd little, like, furry little, like, canine monkey boy. Yeah, there's now there's a pathway. You can figure it out now. Oh my god, you serious? This fucking absurd pooch.
Gets out of the chair for 2 minutes, sits there and looks at me and looks at my face.
Wow. What I wonder, what goes through his mind? I'll never know. Like, I'm wondering what, he went up there for like a second, came back down, checked you out, and then just went back up there again. Like, it's... He's just been a little oddball today, honestly. This is like an off day for you, isn't it? Poor little Fluff having an off day. That side just sounded like... Ugh. The sigh of 1,000 agonies. Scritchy boy. Scritchy balls. Look at you. Are your ears gonna, like, always forever be like those floppy, absurd little things?
Yep.
They're just so cute. Shook off.
I think the reason I like this one is because the back's a lot higher.
Oh yeah. I wish it took, like, at least for me, I would definitely want to at least sit a little higher than that, though. Just in case, you know, if you have it outside and it gets a little...
This height, that height. That's all they have. Unless you get a used chair, but I'm pretty sure our fat asses won't fit in those.
Well. Boo.
I found a green one.
Nice and all olive green, I'm assuming. No?
Neon green.
Neon, huh?
So good in my cup.
Oh.
But it's only the
Are you gonna appropriate that cup again?
Huh?
You're gonna appropriate this cup here.
Am I gonna what do you mean?
Like, it is your cup.
I know. I'll claim it one of these days.
One of these days?
Yeah. I'll come back and claim it.
I'll put it right there.
Well, it's not as bad as you claiming my other one.
Yeah, I've been moving them because every now and then they would fucking get in my way and shit, so...
Just put them both up there, I'll come back.
Oh my... Watch, it'll be like... They'll still be there. They'll still be there within like a few weeks.
So, at least I know where the fuck they're at.
Well, fair enough. Roommate drama. Gotta love it.
The Roommate Chronicles.
There. Gonna drop a beat.
Nice cloud you got going here.
That's mostly him, not me.
Oh my god, you figured it out.
Oh, baby. Oh my god, he got some like dandruff situation going on here. Sweet Jesus, bro. You just need some of this going on, don't you? Oh my god, yes you do. What the hell? So at least I liked it. Bro, what? I didn't realize dogs can have so much dandruff. What the hell? How does one get dandruff like this?
They also have food allergies too.
Huh.
Because Loki can't take preventive.
Huh.
Turns his skin red.
Oh my goodness. Bruh. Poor Zukov. Oh my goodness, bruh. My goodness, bro. What is with all this nonsense? I like how you're getting some of this residue. Well, not exactly. It's like, damn. Transmission of government. I'm bullshit. These are Ark of the Covenant. Oh my god, bro. Look at all that. Look at all this nonsense you got going on here.
Dad just needs to sit there and brush you one day.
You have like a little fur bag right here, bro? What is going on here? Oh my god, dude. Man, bro. Jeez. Jeez. Look at all this shit, bro. Man. What is with all the shit that you got going on here, bro? How does a dog get dandruff? How do you get all this dandruff on you, boy? What is all this obscenity? What the hell? It's like I brushed you once and it's like more up here. Oh, I'm just gonna do this real quick. Go against the grain a little. Yeah. See if that kind of helps scruffle some of that shit out. Yeah. 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 Get a lot of that out. Oh my god.
The wrong way.
That's the point. He's got dandruff somehow, like, absurdly. And it's like, oh my goodness. I'm brushing it out of him. And it's a way to kind of help. Unfortunately, catapulted on my roommate, but. At least he's getting it out, though. Poor buddy. Oh my goodness.
Should have tried some of the Dinovite. I heard that works there.
Oh.
As far as itching and that sort of stuff. And smelling.
Being a little smitty boy. I want to try to get his other side, because I keep getting this one side now. I want to try to get the other part of him.
There's no way to get you to quit smelling, Mr. Snoop.
Sick off, come on. I want to try to get your other side now. Come on. Come here. Suka. Oh my god, you absurd boy.
I'm about to break my vows and be an instigator. Playing mental games with manipulators. Talk offensive shit around the dinner table.
There we go. Yeah.
Crying in the incubators. I can set you free and be a liberator. Putting out your weed that I'ma finish later.
Oh my goodness, Zukov. What is with all this absurd anger, bro? I mean, it's all mostly gone now at this rate, but still. How does the pooch get so much of it?
Visions that I witness keep me stimulated. Paint a picture in your mind like an illustrator. Speeding in my spaceship when I hit the breakers. Smash into the earth and left the biggest crater. Writing mystic curses with the pen and paper. In this art I am the darkest of articulators. Stop your heart and starting with defibrillators. Saying I'm impressed, I'll hear the bitchin' later. Call a bitch, college, you can get your major. Tell them that I sent you to admit your nature. Jago Wayne, I'll hit you with the sickest banger. Making bitches Satan like a fiddle player. Y'all can't understand.
Yeah, you feel better now about that? Yeah.
I ain't eating Christ cause I ain't into wafers.
Oh, you feel much softer now. Much softer now. Yeah. Good fluff.
Now I feel like King Kong, y'all can send the haters. I'll be waiting for
And what absurd little fluff. Really, bro?
Yeah, I'll be waiting for send them all. Send them all.
You're just a ridiculous goof. Yeah, and it looks a lot more shiny now, too. That's good. Just need a little bit of a brushing. But we were outside today, too. And all that rain and muckiness, so... That's probably also why he's got a little agitated, too, a bit. It's all in that muck and shit, so... Need him getting a little bit of a bath. I know on Monday I'll definitely have some time for that, so I'll make sure to set the time aside to give him a sweet little bath, give him all nice and soapy.
If we have hot water.
I mean, it'll be fine for him at least. I mean, it's not like...
Not for us.
But yeah, not for us, but I mean, for him, it's not a big deal. Oh, look at Zero. GG.
Fuck you. My chair.
See, it's like you did not get this chair.
My chair. You already claimed my other one, fucker. You ain't claiming that one.
I'm surprised he hasn't claimed this one yet.
Oh,
Honestly, there's been a few times I've found him sitting here. So, I don't want him to. This is my fucking throne right here. Yeah, what a little goofball. Zukov's just been a major goof today. So, he wants his little toy. Oh, that's so cute. Look at Joe. His new little rope toy, and he's just like, I want it. Where? Yeah, he definitely felt better and happy about that. Now he's all like, I want to play with this now. Oh, what a little sweet bye-bye. You're just a sweet bye-bye. Oh, here. Play another little tune here.
Populated by a bunch of dumb hairless apes, and I fucking hate them all, but I can't escape, so I'm stuck here anyways.
It's just having his little paws wrapped around that and playing with it. It's just so damn cute. Silly little boy. What are you staring at now? He's found something. You're seeing something. What is it? Is it that big ass spider that I was seeing above, but not below? Is it now below? I swear to God, if it is, I'm going to conceal it in something and get it the fuck out. I actually found one of those little house spiders like that are like yay fucking big in my bathtub. I was like, alright, I'm grabbing like a cup, scooping it in there, and you're just going right outside. I respect my spooter bros. I respect the spider bros. So I'm willing to at least, you know, let him outside if, you know, I can help it. Yeah, he did notice something. Now he's trying to find it. I'm assuming maybe there was, maybe not a big one, because I wouldn't notice it, but there's probably a spider or something down there. Probably a small one. I just hope he's not doing a little something weird. Because I swear, if he is. Double G's. What are you doing, boy? What you doing, baby? What's up, baby? I'm actually feeling like I kind of want to play a little bit of video game myself, actually, a little bit. So, what I'm gonna do is get this nice fat ball smoked up on here. Probably call it good and all that shit. But hey, it's all gonna be lit. Look at your baby. You're so much softer now with all the dandruff off of you. Man, you were just like, we're a dandruff boy for a minute, bro. You still kind of are a little, but at least not that much. Oh, you know what? If anything, since I never see fleas on you, I'm thinking this is what your little scratchiness is about. You got like some dandruff skin thing going on. You got like some skin stuff, like your brother does. Because I know your brother has had the same issues before. Need to see what it's about. Because I never ever see a flea on you. I mean, I'm doing that just to make sure. I'm doing that as a precaution. But, I mean, considering all the dandruff and the lack of, like, fleas on me or anything in my room or here or anything like that, at least right now. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming that it has to be, like, you know, some, like, probably a skin condition thing of some sort. Like his skin gets irritated over shit. I don't know. It's definitely one thing I want to try to figure out with the little fluff. So I'll make sure I have my boy all good and healthy and stuff, and not all annoyed and miserable scratching himself right now. But today's also been kind of an off day for him a little bit, so I mean, I'm sure he's all just kind of like, I don't feel good. My digestive tract feels all fucky and I'm all, you know, scraggly because I was all wet. I have some dirt on me now. I want a bath and all that other shit. But I'll make sure he gets all nice and cleaned up. At least on Monday, because I know I'll definitely have some time available for that. Anyway, gotta go for the rest of the evening, so peace out, and of course,